All right, so basically we're comparing, an intraday time frame to the daily SMA 50 there. All right, so and the question, as the question was kind of written here, it just says, Pascal just wants to know when price is near, price is near, so a little subjective there. So, but to do that, we'd simply use the comparison solver, right? That's what the comparison solver does, is you're comparing one thing to another, and you can detect when they're near each other, right? So in this case, right, we're going to be comparing the 5-minute closing price to, all right, we're comparing that to the daily SMA 50. All right, let's give this a name here. Okay. All right, there's a name for our solver there. All right, so now let's go adjusting the inputs here. All right, so input A, we're going to change the type to price. Right, so there we go. So that's going to be the closing price of our chart. Right, so our chart is a 5-minute chart. So that's going to be the closing price of the 5-minute chart. Input B will make this the SMA 50 of the daily. So we're going to go into the indicator here, and we want, right, an SMA 50 period, but we want it to be an SMA 50 from daily charts. So what we'll do is we'll open up the shark indicators, go into tools, and we're going to grab Chameleon, all right, Chameleon, and we're going to nest Chameleon into the SMA, right? So we're going to feed the data from Chameleon into the SMA 50 here. And so with Chameleon, we want, right, we're going to use the alternate time frame feature here. So we're going to set this to true. And then here we go. Use alternate time frame. Let's open this up. Alternate time frame, and we want day bars, and we're going to leave it on 1 day bars, right? So the Chameleon that we're using in BloodHound is set up differently than how we have it set up on the chart, right? So if you notice our where is it? There we go. Our look back, the look back period, we're going to leave that to 1 because, let's see. Well, actually, we could do this all in. There's 2 ways to do this. Quite often there's 2 ways to do the same thing. So I could just take Chameleon and set the look back to 50, and then go down here and select the select the close SMA plot, right? Actually, that's probably an easier way of instead of nesting Chameleon into the SMA. Let's just remove the SMA and let's just put Chameleon there. That way it's a little more straightforward. So we're going to use the closing SMA, and then we'll just set Chameleon up the same way as we did on the chart here. So we'll set the look back to 50. Enable the use alternate time frames, and and we want to set the type to day, right? 1 day. There we go. So this is the same settings as how we have Chameleon on our chart here. There we go. Chameleon, the white line. And again, make sure that we select the close plot here, with the closed SMA plot. So the other way, what I started to show you the other way is I was going to use Chameleon to calculate daily bar data but of course the look back period would need to be set to 1. And so Chameleon would expose, Chameleon would generate daily bar data, 1 day daily bar data, and then I could take the closing price for that daily chart, and then I could feed that, right? I could feed that into the SMA. So that's what I was doing previously, but I think it's probably less work. We can eliminate a double process here just by simply using Chameleon all by itself. So so let's set the look back to 50. My time frame is day bars, and we should be good to go. Let's see here. All right, let's click OK. There we go. And let's see, this is the NQ. So let's say we want to know when price gets within, 5 points of the SMA. So, all right. So in the difference section here, I'm going to change it to points, and we'll put in 5 points in here. Oops, 5 points. There we go. All right, so our large amount and small amount is set to 5 points. And then down here on the outputs, I'm going to use the A equals B within 5 points. So that's how we can tell when the 5-minute time frame is near our daily SMA, is by using the difference, and putting in a distance, and then using the A equals B within X points or X ticks, whatever you're looking for, whatever you want to consider near to be, whatever near it is for you, that's what you put into the difference section here. And then we just use the A equals B within, that distance. So, all right, that does it. Now, one thing hopefully you guys noticed here is BloodHound is telling us, hey, there's a multi-time frame indicator. We need to press F5 here. So, all right, so let's go here and reload. Actually, let me just close that first. There, and reload. And there we go. Right. So we can see the racing stripes on the chart here. It's awful thin. But there we go. Yeah. And let's see here. So you notice, right, we're getting a long and a short here, by design, because, when you're near something, that doesn't tell you whether you're going long or going short, right? Near is just, a false or true statement. Are you near something or are you not? So, so let's here. If we want to, if we kind of wanted to filter things out here, we could. And what I can do is, I'm on the solvers tab, is I'm going to take this comparison, make a copy of it, and then I can check to see if the closing price is above or below the daily SMA 50 here. And so I'm going to set the distance back to 0 points. Oops. And set my outputs back to the way they were. Right, so this this is the default output settings for the comparison solver. So what I'm doing is I'm making a comparison solver that now is going to tell me is the closing price, right, of the 5-minute chart above or below the SMA 50 of the daily chart, right? By simply saying is A greater than B, right? Remember, so A is the closing price of our 5-minute chart, and so is the 5-minute chart greater than B, and B is our SMA 50 of the daily. And so if it is, let's, give me a long output. If the 5-minute bar, if the 5-minute bar is below, right, less than B, the SMA 50, then give me a short output. So let's put that on the chart here. So I'm going to go to existing nodes, and there is that new one, right? Close above or below the daily SMA 50. I can put that on there. And we look at that, this is pretty straightforward, right? Just tells me, is the closing price above or below the SMA 50? But then, if I take an AND node, all right, so there's price near the SMA 50, and then I can take this other solver and add it as a filter, and now it tells me that, okay, yeah, the closing price is near the SMA 50, but it's also above the SMA 50 as well. So just a little expansion upon that. So if I stretch this out here, let's stretch this out. There, yeah. So we can see the close of the bar is above our SMA 50. And we're getting a long output here. Yeah, there you go. So that closing price is just barely above the SMA 50. And it doesn't look like, so yeah, so the close of this bar is more than 3 points away from, actually it's almost 5 points away. It's 5.5 points away from our SMA 50. So yeah, this bar was too far away there, so it didn't get marked. Oh. All right. So anyway, so there's so this solver here is a little lesson here on how you can compare, the intrabar chart, right? So our intrabar being a 5-minute chart, how you can compare that to daily data, or a daily SMA or a daily based indicator, right? Simply by using Chameleon here.